Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles of Crown Cuts Academy JC, Crown Cuts Academy Bristol, and Craig Crown Cuts Downtown JC Barbershop. Spreading love the JC way is the only way we know how to do it. Is the
That's right.
Crown Cuts
That's right.
way.
That's right.
Boom. Let's make it happen with my special guest today. We're going to have a good topic and talk about several great things. And she's going to add her input. And this guy, right, he's been trying to get on the podcast for the longest. He's every time he sees me in the school, Craig, when can I get on this? When can I get on set? When can I get on set? I'm like, hey, Jay, relax, Jay. You're going to get on there. It's all good. But again, shout out to FeedSpot for putting us in the top 25 podcasts on the web in the world and the top podcast in the country as far as barber content. Again, we like to spread love, and we're going to drop some gems and earn the crown. That's what we do. Hashtag earn the crown. Check us out on Spotify, Apple, whatever major platform out there. Go listen to us. And we do have a IG page now for Barber College Success. Subscribe it. Check us out on YouTube. Like it. Follow us. Do what you do, man. You know, show the boys some love. Crown Cuts Academy. Boom. I've been talking enough. I'm letting my guests introduce themselves. But first, my co-host.
Am I Fields? Am I your barber? I made it again. It was
Okay.
written.
It was written one more time. The red pill.
To take the red pill because it was written.
Oh man,
Wear your red hat.
That's what it is. And then we got my boy. You gotta introduce yourself. Don't be shy.
My name is Jordan. Jordan Barr.
You sound like an R&B singer. My name is Jordan.
Oh man, come on, you can't make fun of me like that. Not a lie.
Yes. And ma'am.
I'm Selena.
Selena, that's it. You just like a soccer player. You just got one name. Ronaldo.
Selena.
Okay, yes. Today we're going to talk about a special topic. We're going to talk about when you're in the classroom, when you go to school and you don't feel like doing nothing. Or maybe you might not even feel like coming to school. Why is it important to change that mindset and get your butt to school? It's really important. Because I have some students sometimes that get to school where they want to dodge haircuts. They don't feel like cutting. So we're going to break that stigma, break that myth. Why? It's not even a myth. Why is it important? You going into a profession, you got to give your all. You got to be prepared the whole 9-12 months.
I think personally, it's just when you're in school, I feel like you have more room for mistakes. As far as when you get out into the real world, you're supposed to be that professional barber. You want to have as like the least amount of mistakes as possible. And I think as far as being in school, you can, test out things, try different fading techniques or designs. Or
Make
whatever.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Just
I mean, you practicing. I mean, anything you do, like you're in a relationship with your girlfriend, your relationship with your boss, you practicing for that day. And I think it's important to practice well.
Yeah, I always think. Well, this is me though, but I don't know about everybody else. I always take my time serious in school. So every time I'm in there, I always try to give my best. That's because I want to be the best as far as being like as a barber.
Best. What is best for you?
The best for me.
What do you think best is? What is you being your best?
What does that look like?
When you think about yourself at the pinnacle, at the peak, your prime, your LeBron and Wade throwing the oop beat.
Man, I don't know. I was just like,
what's the end game?
I don't know. I don't really try to think of it that way. I just think as I'm gonna give out the best I can
every day.
Haircut.
Make it first like your last.
Every haircut, yeah.
Boom.
And eventually, I'm gonna get to that part where I'm just gonna be popping them out like fire cuts 24/7
without even trying.
Without even trying, yeah. That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
You've grown a lot, though. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen your hair because you've grown a lot. But the point of today is for people out there, students who are in the field, cosmetologists, nail techs, esthetician, maybe yoga, going to yoga school. What do you do to overcome that time when you don't want to go to school? You're sitting at home, you're like thinking like, man, I'm not going today. Or you're thinking like, when you get there, I don't want to take a cut today.
For me, man, it's like, if one thing that for me, I feel like there's a moment in time where one day you wake up and you pick a pair of clippers up and it just makes sense. Like, and it takes some time. It took some time for me to get there, but one day it's like overnight I woke up and I was like, whatever walks in today, I'm gonna kill it.
I'm
I'm gonna kill it.
I'm
You feel that now?
Yeah, I feel
I
it.
can tell you feel that, and I can see it, and that's what I try to get the students to. Like they just wake up one day, and they ain't looking for me. They're gonna do what they're gonna do, and they're gonna figure it out, and it just makes sense. And when you miss days of school or whatever it is, you're pushing your day back, and it might not be tomorrow. It might not be 20, 30 days or a month or 3 months. It's gonna happen eventually. One day you're gonna wake up, and it's just gonna make sense. And the days you miss is longer for you to figure it all out.
What do you think, Miss Selena?
For me, I think a lot of it is self motivation
Mhm.
and how I really am able to get up every day if there's, just some sort of hesitation,
Right.
just making sure that I get in the practice or find best practices to make sure I can go to school every day or go to work every day or being able to be at my best for my team or just in yoga practices. Just being able to be present in the moment and understanding and figuring out what is my day going to look like.
It's important that you said team because when you in a group of people, when you in a setting as a team, you have a responsibility to the other person. And that's how I think you should look at it when you're in school. You have a responsibility to your other fellow students or barbers who will participate with you. Because sometimes, not sometimes, but people look forward to seeing you.
Right.
Um,
Is that what keeps you going? What wakes Craig Charles up every day?
I mean, it's my passion, and if it's something that's your passion, it's simple.
It's not.
It's
Yeah,
not
you
even
don't. You
stressful.
don't gotta think about it. It's not like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I tell people I never had a bad day since 2004, I've never had a bad day. I mean, I love what I do. So when I love what I do, it makes it simple for me. So you have to make it something that,
You want to work at, you want to
yeah,
grind with.
That you're passionate about.
yeah. So one of the questions I ask people is, what is your why?
Uh-huh.
What is your why for signing up for this school? What is your why for chasing this career?
I think for me, it's just being able to help people, realizing that we have everyday stresses.
Right.
Every day, it's everyday life that we come into. And being able to really help someone and change and make that impact and a difference in their life is why I do what I do.
Yep.
Do you see it instantly, like when that person just like like when they finally get in a rhythm and that you could tell that they're doing it because they want to do it and love to do it and not just because I don't know what is there a time where you could just tell?
I think for in some situations, yes, it can happen right away, but it does take time. And for me, it's an everyday thing. And that'll go with my sales team or that'll go with yoga or any practices. It just takes time to develop. And so as I start to see the results, then that's what I pay attention to and try and focus and reinforce those same behaviors.
That's awesome.
What do you think about that, Jordan?
About what was the question?
What is your why?
What motivates you to get up and grind every day?
I mean, I was like, I always wanted. I've always had the mindset of that. I want to be different from everybody else. I want to be set apart from everyone else. As far as like, because I've always just went through my whole life thinking that I want to be good at everything. But obviously, you can't be good at everything. But
Right.
that's just how I go about it. I want to be remembered for something as that dude as being hardworking and always giving his all in everything he does.
So take it back. Before you even came to barber school, when you was making that decision to come to school, what was your why?
I
To
really
make that
didn't. I
make to
really
make
did.
that
At
decision
that
for that
point,
career.
at that point, I was just working. I didn't, and I was unhappy. I was always down. I was like, man, I know this isn't what life is supposed to be like.
Mhm.
As far as like, I'm talking about like going to work and regretting it. Before I got to barber school, that's what it was like. I always hated it.
So you found your purpose
Yeah.
in barber school.
And once you find that purpose in life,
Mhm.
it's such a good feeling because then you know what you want. You're looking straight ahead because you know exactly what you want to be at. So, and it feels great that I found what I wanted to do because I've always been into art and stuff like that. And now that I can actually show off what I can do with my art,
Right.
it
And
feels
and that
amazing.
is, you are an artist, and it's almost like an innocent smile you have on your face that you can't even explain when you're in that zone. Like, man, I'm in the school. I'm going to and I want it. I love what I
It's
do.
like in the movie Soul, like we talked about before we got online. Like when he started hitting them notes on the piano, like
Uh-huh.
it's just it's like he went in another world almost. Like it was almost like he was between here and heaven at that point is where he was. So.
So, and just being in this industry, being a school owner, being an instructor, how do we get students to understand that it's okay. It's a process,
Mhm.
but that process, if you don't cultivate it, if you don't water it, if you don't make it something that you're like what you said, like they have that innocent smile on your face, you're not going to be good at it.
Right.
I would say it starts with discipline
Right.
with anything. I think if anybody's willing to put forth the effort and discipline in anything, then I think that you will find somewhat satisfaction in it because you know that you're working hard to achieve a goal. So, but with barber school is you can see a continuous gratification, whether or not, like I said, eventually you're gonna hit that spot where it clicks, but one haircut's always better than the last, and it seems like it's a continual process. So you have like that level up system that you can see yourself growing. That's why we tell you people to make takers, you know.
Right. And understand. So I was in church the other day and last week, and the pastor said something that just kind of grabbed me: patience, perseverance, promise. So I was like sitting there, I was thinking about those three words while I was sitting in church and I was taking notes. And I was like, you know what? There's another word before all those three words: the process.
Right.
You have to understand it's a process, and you have to be patient to persevere to get to the promise.
Mhm.
And I don't think people understand that. They want it instantly to come right away. And no matter what you do, anything we do in life, any type of discipline we do, we have to understand it's a process.
That's hard though, and it's hard for me. Like I know I'm trying to get my body back to where I need to be physically, but that is still that hesitation, like you said, that moment you wake up and it's like,
But
well, I'm
that's
fitting,
normal.
man. I could
Everybody
use
goes through
like
that.
And
Everybody.
that's
let me
okay.
Yeah.
get two more hours.
I
I'll
feel
be
you.
out.
I
You
feel
know,
that.
I think everybody's felt that, and then but like I know, like at least the last week or so, I've been like, I got to get it because
Right.
if I don't, it's going to keep being further and further away from me.
Yes.
I think that's important.
You almost have to set up some, like you said, it's discipline.
Discipline and obedience.
Yes, set up a game plan. Set
Mhm.
up a formula how to get there. Set up a formula almost how to get through school. What can I do during those times when I feel that I don't want to go to school?
I think the worst thing you can do, and I've done this, and I've done it a couple of times, is wake up and look straight at your phone. Like wake up and just start scrolling, and then give yourself more time of just laying there thinking, just rationally, because you're not really scrolling to look at anything. You're
Right.
just rationalizing
Yeah.
whether or not you're gonna get up. So I
I think
mean,
you can give yourself like accountability partner. That helps.
sometimes, unless your partner's just like you, and they're like, you know what,
Well,
go back to sleep, bro. I'm gonna go back to sleep too.
But I mean, just hold yourself accountable.
Yeah.
Find things
You
that
gotta
you
choose
see
wisely.
the results. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta choose wisely because you don't want someone who's not coming to school to be your accountability partner. You might want to link up with Lathan and like Lathan. You go to school every time you go to school, hit me up, give me a call.
My workout partner, I don't think we even like each other. And I'll be honest with you. Because I mean, you should some of the texts I get, like if I don't go show up, man, he talk about, oh man. But we're completely different people. But in that sense, like she said, he can cuss me out whatever he wants to do. But at the end of the day, if I ain't gonna go, I ain't gonna go.
Right.
So you have to have that self-awareness to first of all, you have to visualize. I think one way to get students to keep coming to school is make them visualize what their end game is.
Right. What is your why?
Why? What is your why? Not only your why, but why are you doing this? What do you want to do? You want to be a mogul? You want to be a businessman? You want to be an influencer?
Because you have to practice what you
Preach.
preach,
Exactly.
and you have to practice you have to play how you practice.
And you start day one.
Right.
I feel
And
like another thing is like if you're thinking more, I think you have to think more about less than the money. Than,
No, I think
like as far
my
like,
personal opinion is when you start thinking about the money,
that's when you're not gonna
you're not gonna grow
progress.
anymore.
Yeah.
right.
Once your mind is how much I'm gonna make today, it's not how my haircut's gonna look today, or
Right.
am I gonna get a good pump in the gym today?
Yeah.
It's just like going through the motions at that point.
You have to get the finances off your mind.
Cause
And
it ain't even like the money that be bringing me, that be making me happy. Cause I mean, everybody's always like, Jordan, man, you be giving good tips and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not, asking them.
but
I
people can
always, I
tell.
mean, yeah, but they're like, how much do you charge for a cut? I'm like, you give me whatever you think I deserve,
Mhm.
and they always tip me good. So I mean, I just do my thing. I talk to them. I mean, I like talking to them. I always try to, give them life
Lessons, a little
lessons
tip,
and little tips
technique.
and stuff. So like, I mean, at the end of the day, I just love talking to people and making people feel happy. I mean, that's all I like doing. And giving them a fresh cut, man, that's the best feeling ever. They be looking in the mirror. Oh man, I
That little
love it.
smile, like she's
Yeah.
talking, like you just tell a difference.
And I
But the
was like,
thing is,
man,
when you was in high school sometimes and you did not want to miss a day because you felt like you'd miss some of the drama, just miss something that's going on.
And you always did. There was always something.
And you're like, man, I missed that. So I think you have to kind of make it to that point where when you miss school or you come where you're not getting what you need, you have to sit back and like, man, I'm missing something. Because something might be said that day that's never going to be said again. Something's going to be done that day in the setting in the lab that's never going to be duplicated again.
You should always highlight something during the day,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like highlight, like you do the cuts, the cut of the week or whatever.
COTD.
Yeah. If somebody feels left out, well, you missed 3 days of school. In those 3 days, you could have been in school putting
Right.
out cuts and participated in this, and probably would have done some great work, but you didn't come to work. You didn't come to school.
And understanding that it's going to take time because you're not going to come in there like lift weights today and gain a muscle tomorrow. I don't know who ever. So have somebody ever done that?
I don't know. Has anybody ever got stupid elastic first day, just really
Lift-
stretchy?
lift-
I've never known for anybody to do that.
So my point is, so it's a process. You got to take your time.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with like yoga poses and stuff like that. You do have to practice every day just to get that. It's not just flexibility, but it's that stress that we build up inside of our bodies. So as we get better into the practice, it's the least stress that you tend to have, and you're building up, more of a routine and being able to get that flexibility and being able to really, and this ties back to you being present during the day and really being focused on the things that are important for the day. And so as you guys are going into school and learning more about how to cut different haircuts and stuff like that, for me, it's just learning different behaviors, getting that mindset, making sure that we stay in a positive room of um, what kind of solutions can we do and get out of this as we're going to work every day and learning how to better ourselves each day.
A
And
new
you-
skill.
Do you use those principles like in your own life? Like is there like examples you can give us to like get yourself in that positive mind frame to deal with the day?
Yes, I do. Every day I do get up and I make sure that I do a little bit of a meditation. And how I do the meditation is you can go outside or I have a little room that I can sit in and I practice my breathing.
Mm.
And then after I practice my breathing, you can listen to music is what really motivates me.
Mhm.
So throughout the day, it's what I listen to and what I feed myself every day. And if I do that 15 minutes every day and I start off my day in that practice, it tends to go in a better direction. Now, if there's days that I just know it's just going to be really stressful and stuff like that, I know that I do have to take some time out and maybe I'll go into my office and focus a little bit more and do some more breathing or go into different yoga poses just to release that stress
So you're in
and
your office
anxiety.
by yourself. Like, what's the you got a go-to one? Is there a go-to one that you got to hit when you're feeling it that day?
There's always bridge pose. And for me, it's a lot of breathing, breathing. And people don't realize how important it is.
Finding your happy place.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
getting yourself centered and balanced throughout the day because so many times we're pulled in different directions.
Mhm.
And so this is where I do tie back into yoga and saying, okay, I need to stay focused. I really need to balance
Right.
and being able to say, okay, hey, let's focus where I'm at right now.
Mhm.
And then being able to deal with that or just being able to communicate with somebody right there. Because a lot of times we can have a conversation and my mind will go in different directions.
And you
it-
want to you think
and-
about the
Yeah.
next thing.
and then it just comes back because
Uh-huh.
it's important that you said that because I'm sitting there listening to you and I'm thinking like, maybe if everybody comes and finds that happy place and understand that balance and meditation to get them back on track. You might be in school, you wake up in the morning and thinking that, man, I don't want to go. Sit down and ask yourself, what is your why? And close your eyes for a second.
Yeah.
And meditate. And that 5, 10 seconds, 30 seconds will probably reevaluate you and center yourself, understand, man, I signed up for this.
But you got to get out of bed to do it.
I'm paying for this. So I need to go.
Right. And I think that really goes back to him as far as he found what his purpose was.
Mr. Jordan.
Mr. Jordan did. And because he found what his purpose was, he wants to get up every day. He wants to make sure he betters himself. And he has set that goal for him. He knows what it looks like for him. So for me every day, and if it works differently for different people, and Craig, finding that happy place for you, you saw the results in that.
Right.
And that's what I pay attention to, is like, what is really working for me? I'll try different things all the time, especially with my team or different things that I do, my kids. If this isn't working, then let me try something else. And if I see the positive results, give them choices.
Right.
And as we're doing this, then I sit and say, okay, I got this result out of it. Now I need to pay attention and move on to the next step. And then that's where I start to see the growth.
Again, Barber College Success, brought to you by Craig Charles and my co-host, Am I's the Man. Shout out to Mr. Lathan. You can check us out on Market Street Media. If you have any questions, again, send us. We're live on Facebook. Send it to him, and we'll answer the questions right to you. Again, shout out Lathan. Thank you for doing what you do. Appreciate that.
Lathan. Yep. Round of applause.
Bravo. Jordan, have you ever been in school where you didn't want to get a cut? Where a cut came in and you're like, I don't feel like cutting.
No.
What about a perm? Do it. Stop the cap. Stop the cap.
You said a haircut.
Stop the cap.
I don't mind perms now. Man, after a while, it's just like, because the reason why I didn't like them in the first place is because I was taking too long.
Right.
And after a while, after I started doing them more and more, I
got
got
better.
a little bit faster. And then now they're not as tedious. And it's just. I think it's really just because of how long it.
Look how important that was. You have to go through the process to understand the end goal.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand the end goal. So you have to look at the end goal, see what the end of the movie looks like, and put the financing aside. Don't think you're going to have to rush to get out of school to get paid right away. You're going to get paid. If you do this thing right, you're going to have plenty of money in your bank account, in your pocket.
And now we can't give Jordan perms because he always got somebody in his chair now. I'm going to hang it over your head.
Everybody's mad at me for that, too. You don't even do hair no more, or girls' hair no more. I mean, I do every now and then when somebody asks me if they ask me.
And understand the process of the school, because most schools around the country is 1,500 hours. And if you break that down, that's probably 11 months, you'll be able to 1,500 hours evenly distributed. You'll get out. And understand the process of every month where you're going to be and how that process is going to take. You're not going to get to where you want to be, feel comfortable until you're about 5 months in, 5 to 7 months in. What month are you in right now?
About to be 6.
My point. About 5.5,
you
6.
hit it right. I'd say about 5 months where I seen Jordan was like, I just walked by and it's like,
yeah,
okay.
Between 5 and 7, where most students hit their strides.
Yeah.
So the first month is going to be, you don't understand what's going on. You're nervous. Stuff is being thrown at you, the terminology, and it kind of stumps you. You're thinking man, I'm not good. Am I going to be? It's been a month. Give yourself some time. Understand that it is a process.
Right.
It is a process. You're not going to get where you want to be in that first month.
It took me like a year, honestly.
And everybody's different.
But I stayed. I kept my head down that whole time, that whole year. I said and there was a lot of times I just want to get up and leave. Like I didn't want to go in. Or I just wanted to leave early because there wasn't nobody coming in.
Right.
But I was like, I just kept telling myself the next one might change it. The next one might change it. I might have a lifelong client next time. So.
And which is great too, because some of the things that you don't realize. I was speaking to one of our clients, one of my students last week, and he said, I had one of the best conversations ever. I was speaking to this guy. He said he's a fugitive finder. Imagine if he didn't come to school that day.
I thought you said he is a fugitive. I'm like, like, yo, let me get to the phone.
He said he's a fugitive finder, and he was driving down the street. And he's seeing where haircuts, and he wanted to get a haircut because he's gonna chill for about
Is he
a
like
week.
Dog the Bounty Hunter type deal?
He said he's not a bounty hunter. Bounty hunter is for people who didn't go to college. That's what he said.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said.
Oh, so okay, so he's like doing some squirrel stuff, like FBI.
He said he staked out this guy for a week, went to Mississippi and brought him back, and they gave him a check for $17,000.
Oh, sign me up! I eat fast food for $7.
Yeah, but my point, you know, if he didn't come to school that day, he would have missed out on an interesting conversation.
That's cool. I've met all kinds of especially now that they got like the medical school near me. I get to meet people of like different racial backgrounds or different cultures, like people from Palestine. Or one dude was Slovenian.
Right.
I mean, just all kinds of, I wouldn't even imagine even thinking of going to these places. And I get to speak with them and learn about their culture and see if it's a place that I might want to visit.
Right. So think about those relationships that you're not cultivating. You're not growing when you miss. Think about those relationships that you are missing out on. Because this is one of the most innocent times ever, just that schooling.
Mhm.
Because you have opportunity, like you said, to make mistakes. And you won't be judged for it too much. So you have to take advantage of those situations. Somebody's calling you guys, Selena. I mean, hey, you popular, but let them know.
Say, I watch your podcast, girl.
It's okay, man. You just put it on there. We have any questions on it, Selena? Yeah, I know you got more fans than the average man, so.
Craig, stop.
You got all the rhymes.
Man, that's
he makes some beats and rhymes.
Who was that? Outcast.
I got
right?
more fans than average man, but not enough loot to last me to the end of the week. We move out of beat like you move check to check. That's Andre 3000. Yo.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I ain't never listened to them.
What? You can't say that. You can't say that live,
Jordan.
You can't say that live.
I've never been in detail, but I actually listened.
You're missing out, bro.
You can't say that live. You know this is around the world, Jordan. Somebody's gonna call you and be like, "What?"
Got offended. I'm sorry.
Man, there's people in Atlanta right now furious.
Yeah, you might miss out on some haircuts.
Furious.
Man. Ooh, Jordan.
My bad. I should open my mouth.
So there's no end game. Like, where do you want to see yourself in this industry in the next 10 years? You don't want to own your own shop. You want to cut a shop.
Somewhere. I got goals laid out.
Let me hear the
Talk
third
about
one.
it.
Let's hear the third one. Don't give me the next one or the one after that. I want the third goal.
My third goal is to open a shop.
Open a shop.
Yeah,
that's a solid spot.
But I mean, my first one is to
get your license.
Yeah, that one. And then after that, I want to win a barber competition.
Ooh, you can. We're gonna have one coming up.
I mean a big one.
Yeah, we're gonna have one. I mean, Fades and Flows is the biggest that you can get.
And then the second one. What was the second one? Okay,
that was your second one.
That was the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's 2.5?
Yeah.
Go 2.5.
Your first one was to graduate. Second one was to win the competition. The third one, you said open the school.
Yeah.
Open a shop.
I thought about that one too.
See, that can happen.
Yeah. So it's just right now I'm just taking one step at a time, and eventually once I get those steps, I know I'm gonna move on and make some
adjustments,
more goals as I go on. So
that's a good plan.
Selena, who's calling you?
Samoa.
Yeah. Did you tell me you're on the podcast today?
No.
Oh man. So Selena, what do you think when you hear what we're talking about? I know you have your specific skill.
Uh-huh.
When you hear us barbers talk about this industry and talking about how to motivate yourself to come to school, how to hit that second gear when you're in school and you don't feel like participating, what comes to mind?
That's a really good question, Craig, because there are days that I go through that and I'm trying to figure that out myself as well. But what I've seen work for myself as I'm trying to get better at motivating who I am and then trying to motivate my kids and my family. Just finding and the things that I listen to, the things that I really know that move me and that motivate me. For instance, it may be a podcast that day. It may be something that I need, a song, or maybe just get into a different yoga pose. And then just going back to my breathing and learning different breathing practices,
Mhm.
trying to find different things to really push me to that next
All
step.
positive stuff, like stuff that's just
Yeah.
gonna make you. Yeah, you can't
So
feed
I
yourself
try and
negativity.
stay positive, and the people that I surround myself with that try, they tend to have the same goals as I do.
That's a gym.
Yeah,
So
I got
Earn the crown.
all the people I hang out with. They all they've been my best friends since high school, and then all of them. Michael Mays, he plays basketball at King College,
Shout out.
uh-huh.
and you can follow him on Instagram. Um, he's always been really passionate. He has passion for basketball.
Mhm.
So he's always, ever since I was in high school, we've always been in the gym 24/7. That's where I get my kind of like what my grind is from now. I kind of got it from him.
Your hunger, your work ethic.
So it's good to find like that's what I was saying because like back in high school, football was my passion, and once I got out of that, I was kind of lost. And then once I got into this, it kind of reminds me of being in the same situation that I was, but I feel like I made a couple of mistakes from the past, but now I'm not gonna make the same since I feel like I got another chance. That's what I feel like.
I mean, but think about it too. You're on this journey and you inspired your bigger brother to come to school now.
Yes.
Just because
after a
of
long-
your passion.
Yeah, after a long
So are you
trying-
two brothers?
No.
Oh.
Well, we kind of look like it, don't we?
I need a
AJ.
nose ring. I need the opposite nose ring.
Oh no. I'm saying it's AJ. It's not
AJ,
AJ.
AJ,
don't
you're
hate
not, I
us.
thought y'all were related.
No, he's related to my
I'm
stepdad.
capping.
He's related to my stepdad. Though.
Oh, okay.
He's my
But-
stepdad's cousin.
But think about that. You inspired your brother to come to school. If you was bow driving and not taking it serious and not being in the moment and realizing, hey, I'm doing good, I'm not gonna miss, because people are looking at you.
Mhm.
When you whatever genre or whatever field you jump into, people are watching you. When you tell someone that you're gonna be a race car driver, they're gonna see if you want to be a race car driver for real. If you're gonna drive once a month or once every 6 months, or if you're driving every day working on your craft, because people are watching you. So that's one thing you gotta notice. When you put your feet to that fire and say, put your name on something, you're gonna do something, people are watching, so they expect you to follow through.
And nothing separates you more than anything than somebody seeing you working hard.
Right.
Mhm.
When people see you working hard, no matter what it
Inspires
is,
them to
yeah,
do it
you could
too.
be the
Right.
hole digger for your local municipality. But if you're digging holes and people notice how hard you're working, they're going to compliment you on your hole digging. Wow, I seen you digging that hole. You work really hard. I can tell. So, I mean, whatever it is that you do, as long as you put forth that effort, people are going to appreciate the hard work.
So how does it feel to know that you inspired your brother to? What has he said to you? Has he said anything to you?
I mean, I talked to him the other day. He says he's excited to start. He thinks me and him can do some things if we stick with it. But I mean, I feel like I have to really get him into it because
Mhm.
he's done it for 11 years, but he's just 7 has his license. But it's just I feel like he's not as close as passionate as I am
Right.
about it, but he is very good. So I feel like if I can get him to be somewhat, if not on the same length that I am, then there's no limit for what we can do.
But think about it. You're already doing it, because do you honestly think if you didn't come to school, he would have came to school?
Probably not.
He's probably home like, Jordan, man. He's like, if you don't shut up, I'm going to go sign up for barber school right now. I'm tired of you talking
but
about
you,
it.
but you see what I'm saying? How you inspire people? What do you think about that, Selena?
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing is having a good mentor.
Right.
And being able to be led in a good direction, especially seeing, like you said, the results come out of it. Hey, you're passionate about it. He sees you work hard at it every day. Even though he's been doing it for 11 years, you actually went and did it, and you're working on it every day to get the result, to get your license, to make sure you do have a better outcome.
To be official.
Yeah.
And so you inspired him, but if you wasn't coming to school, you was complaining, you wasn't making it
Mhm.
into your what do you think he would be?
He probably still be cutting without a license.
And not even thinking about coming to school.
And he's good too. That's the thing. He's like the people. I don't know how many people's told me about, bro. You need to get your brother in barber school. I'm like, I'm trying. Like, and I've had people tell me just give up on him, and I've never been the person to turn back on my friends and family. So I'm always going to keep pushing them to do better.
Someone has to lead by example,
Mhm.
because if someone doesn't lead, no one knows how to follow, how to get there.
Because he used to do the same thing for me back when he was in high school, but He's because he was really good at football and all that sort of stuff. He had D1 college offers, but he dropped out of high school like a dummy. But it's all good.
I
It
mean,
is what it is.
life happens.
Yeah.
Life happens. And I'm actually a question. So your first month in school, do you remember how you felt? What was going through your mind your first month?
My first month.
Yeah.
I mean, the first month, all members doing perms. No, I mean it
On
was
mannequin heads.
yeah, but I was thinking, I was like, man, it's gonna get better. I said eventually, and then it did. So
I
So you
remember-
kept yourself
yeah,
motivated.
and because that first month, it was a little less of what I wanted to do, but
Mhm.
at the same time, I knew I wanted to have it under my like I wanted to know how to do it,
Right.
but just I guess the learning how to do it is the hard part because it wasn't my main focus.
Right.
So
But
what kept you coming back every day? What was it that just made you come back and cut hair and just want to learn to do better?
mm,
House breakfast.
Triple cheeseburgers.
I don't know. It's just everybody there. I love everybody there at school. It's just, I like having the teachers, the students, everybody there at school, and I don't know. I just love doing hair.
That means
love
Craig's
hair.
doing his job, man.
Yeah,
If he's
I
building
mean,
an atmosphere for where people want to come and grow.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't have any there's no negative people in there. So I like being there.
And
I
the,
look forward to it every day.
and the thing is, it's okay if you have a bad day. If you feel like, man, it's okay.
Mhm.
But center yourself. Like you say, do some breathing techniques. Ask yourself, what is your why? Get back, refocus. Because if it's for you, it's going to be for you. And it's a craft that you have to put some time in. It's not just the clipper's not just gonna grab your hands one day and just start cutting and you're gonna like it. Your first couple haircuts is gonna be difficult. I remember when you first started cutting and you was like,
But yeah, I was stumped because I'm a perfectionist so I would cut somebody's hair and it'd take me 2.5 hours. But I mean it looked okay, but it's not as far as I'll
From
see
now-
Craig come in and do a haircut and I'm like, man, what the I don't know.
I feel
I
like
was
Jordan was overnight, man. Like, I'm there once a week.
right.
So I mean, it's like one day I came in, I was like, "What are you doing, Jordan?" He's like, "I'm doing this high taper." I'm like, "All right."
But that's 5 months. And you
Yeah.
have another 4 months to go. You know what I mean?
Well, how long since you had clippers in your hand? How long?
I've never cut. You mean before school?
When did you? And what? How long were you in school before you actually got to perform an actual haircut?
Probably a
2
month,
months.
month and a half.
And you've been there 5 altogether.
Mhm.
That's wild.
With watching, learning, making it fun for yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I always ask questions constantly, watch videos constantly. I ask my brother all the time, I'm like, what do you do? I'll watch him do a haircut, or I'll go watch Craig do a haircut.
Did he
And-
help you like just seeing him cut help you a lot?
Yeah,
like
I've
being
watched
able,
him all my life. I've always wondered. I'm like, because I mean, I was always like seeing what a haircut looked like or watching people do a haircut, but I've never thought I'd actually be a barber because that wasn't my goal at that time.
that's your
Yeah,
brother's
well,
thing. Is that what
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Because it's a
so-
pride. I've known Jordan for a while.
Yeah, he's known me since what
Yeah.
2015.
Yeah.
I think.
So when I seen him come to sign up for school, I was like, okay, that's what's up. Yeah. So it made me happy. Anytime I see someone signing up, it makes me happy. So when he came, I was like, yeah, you're gonna be good.
I tell people all the time. I'm surprised there's not a million barbers. 'Cause everybody, man, you should be a barber. You should be.
I
a
had
barber.
somebody the other day. I don't know. You should be a barber.
What you doing?
I feel like I should become a barber.
You should.
Some people, really,
Everybody should.
I was cutting somebody's hair and I was telling him about how fun it is and how dope. He's like, man, you make me feel like I should be a barber. I said, I'm telling you, man, it's fun.
I
Man.
tell people. All
I
the
remember
time.
this guy told me years ago, he's like, Craig, in everybody's family, someone wants to be a barber.
Or do some kind of hair.
Or someone wants to do some type of hair. Someone got a pair of clippers that just cutting like all the kids, just scalping them. Everything's low.
What you doing, boy? Come here. Over here. Give me your haircut. You a mohawk? I got you.
Yeah. It might be Easter or something. Everybody
Yeah.
line up. Clippers getting hot. You're like, Clippers hot, man. Sit down. Yeah. But
You gonna be a barber? You gonna come be a barber? Give up all this yoga stuff and be a barber.
Oh,
Or we can do both.
What's
Yeah.
your? Do you have what goals? Do you have goals for your industry? Is there another? What's your third step or 2.5?
I really enjoy what I'm doing as far as like the retreats that I'm being able to do. Plus, I have another job
Mhm.
as that I do as well. So I like being able to have the balance of focusing just on the retreats and then being able to help the people that are at the retreats and focusing at that time. So this way I know what I'm doing during the time frames that um the yoga retreats are coming up, and then my other job I can focus on that as well.
And also, Selena's gonna come along a couple of our tours.
Oh,
and
really?
help.
Yeah.
Word. That'd be dope.
Yeah, she's excited. She can't make all of them, what she could, but she's gonna come a couple of
She
on
gonna
them. Yeah,
help
Is there a
sketch.
schedule? You got a schedule yet?
not yet. I'm talking to Darnell tonight, and then we're gonna get that schedule. But we're gonna probably start sometime in next month and just try to get as many as possible before the year is out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then I can help you guys.
You know, I'm actually feeling something right now that I was.
No, really.
I'll think about it. And honestly, I feel like being around y'all. I feel like I gotta get my posture right. I feel like you judge my posture, so I'm like,
Everybody tends to think that yoga is you got to be flexible. You have to do this. In actuality, your body tells you, when you can do something. So don't overpress yourself. Just go with what you can at the time.
And I think people misunderstood
Yeah.
because a lot of times the casual person probably do some type of yoga in their daily walk throughout life.
Pretty much a lot of the things that you do throughout life, just physically, you don't realize that it's yoga, but it could be a yoga position that you're doing when you lay up against the wall or you're laying on your bed and you put your feet up.
Mm-hmm.
That is a position that can help anxiety, anything like that, where you're elevating your body in a different direction.
Great point, because when you say anxiety, because I think that's one thing that goes to a lot of students' mind. They have anxiety of not being able to perform the task. They have anxiety of not being able to be good as a barber. So you can still do some yoga stuff to get your mind back focused and balanced to get back on track.
Yes. And there are different yoga poses to help with that, to help as soon as you feel that pressure and you're breathing, that's where you can go, just separate yourself from, you're getting ready to do a cut. And hey, I want to be at my best. So you may want to go back into the office or in the bathroom. You can even do it in the shower while you guys are in the shower and do tree pose.
Yep.
Or just take your hands and place them behind your back and open up your chest.
Breathe.
Breathe.
Close your eyes and just meditate. And that's because one thing I noticed too with students a lot of times, they will. Well, before I say that, I'll say this. So I was in school and I was talking to a student. She said, "Man, I didn't really feel like doing it today. I came to school. I just didn't feel it. I just didn't have it." That's normal. That's okay. But I told her, you came. That is okay. And one thing that I've noticed also, when students don't come, it reflects in their haircuts. The more students come, you can see a development. They develop quicker. They're on track and they have a sense of peace because they are making strides. It's almost like a piece of a puzzle. Every day you come, you're adding a piece of that puzzle. And when you don't come, you skipping a step for that puzzle where there's a gap to be filled, where it's something that you're not growing and not learning from.
That's like I said. I mean, one day it's just you're just gonna walk in and it's gonna. You're like, man.
And it does. And typically, a lot of times, I can look at students and I'll tell them, "You're about a week away. You're about a month away. You're about 2." I can just gauge and see them in their skills, especially the ones who are invested, who come all the time. Your instructor will be able to tell you and see where you are.
But I think that's a key word, Craig, is being invested. The ones that you are investing into, and the ones that really are investing into themselves. Every day, it's a practice. So showing up is a practice. I've got to go to the school. I've got to be able to put those clippers in my hands. That is a practice that you have to get into every day. So, and that is being present for you during that time as well.
And I can sit back and think of one particular student. He's probably one of the best students in the school right now. He's getting ready to graduate here pretty soon. But he had a time when he was just missing and not coming. And like you said, take your mind off the money. Because his thought process was, well, I can miss school and I can cut at home and get that money coming to me.
The money will come.
the money will come.
Mhm.
And he was sporadic. But when he started coming to school, it was just like he just went like straight coming. It went leaps and bounds. And he thought he was cutting well when he wasn't coming because he's cutting at home. He's having people stop by.
He had a little notoriety,
He had a little notoriety, but
money in his
when he
pocket.
started coming every day, everything just started clicking and just started making sense.
Mhm.
And he just took off. He
He-
took off.
And he probably felt that sense of belonging as well.
Yes.
You know, it where you guys were together, and he saw results come out of it. I think a lot of it for me is being able to see, hey, maybe this didn't work today, but if
Right.
I show up tomorrow, like you guys all said, what's the different outcome going to be?
It will
Yeah,
get greater
Yeah.
later.
It's just seeing that progress is what really makes you want to push to start coming all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after you start, so it's just like working out. If you work out for just like a week or two, and you like, man, I ain't seeing nothing. And then you come, if you keep doing it, and then eventually you can like you start seeing pounds come off. You're like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing it, and then eventually it's gonna become natural. It's not gonna you don't have to think about it no more.
And it becomes a daily behavior.
Yeah.
And those are the things that I focus on, are what are the behaviors that I'm doing, what are the behaviors that they're doing, and what kind of results and outcome is really coming out of this.
Because if you can identify the haircuts, you really don't know how to get there. And one of the key things for students initially, they don't know what type of haircut they're doing. They can't see the end
Can't see
goal.
the end of the
Yeah.
haircut.
And it takes time to be able to see that. It takes time to understand your guards. It takes time to understand the depth, what a guard does, the different angles a clipper's going, how to use your straight razor, how to use your trimmers, how to use your shears. It takes time. So that's not going to happen in a week. That's not going to happen in a month. That's not going to happen in 2 months.
I was listening to this Kevin Hart interview the other day, and he was saying, the easiest thing to do in life is to give up.
Mm.
He said, you can give up. I mean, human beings, it's easy for us. We can give up right now. Stop doing it. Just get off the podcast and leave right now. We give up. The hardest thing to do is to wake up every day and say, oh, okay, yesterday I got nowhere. Today I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go even harder.
And make it fun for you. Make it into a
Yeah.
game. Make it into a game and hold yourself accountable and ask yourself, what is your why? Why did I even sign up to school? Why did I take this discipline? Why did I choose this career path if I'm not going to water this plant for it to grow?
Motivate yourself.
Mhm.
Why? So ask yourself, what is your why? And that can help you go through those dead times. Why am I here? What am I doing?
And sometimes you don't know your why. That's why you go to school and eventually you
Right.
find your why.
And if it's not for you, it's okay. But don't go in that discipline and disrupt someone else from learning.
Right. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Just because
You don't
you're not
like it.
happy where you're
Yeah.
at doesn't mean that you
Trying
need
to
to
make it worse for
destroy.
everybody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, because there's some people who just have this gratitude for the craft and the career that they go into and want to just mold it and make the best out of it. So why would you want to come in and disrupt that?
And it's hard to hide those people that you can tell that it just makes sense to them. And I swear, if you just keep doing it, eventually it will just make sense. But some people it makes sense earlier than others, and you got to just maybe use them for motivation and inspire yourself to and see what they're doing.
And don't expect yourself to be as good as someone who's there 7 months and you've been there a month. Don't expect.
I have a hard time. You're right about that, Craig, because I have a hard time with that. And because I am a perfectionist,
Mhm.
and I know there's no such thing as perfection,
But you
that
can
I
get
do
close to
strive
it,
for
though.
excellence. Yeah.
You can get very close. to it.
Yeah. So I'm learning that as well. I'm not to compare myself to other people. And how I'm really dealing with that is saying, okay, especially with social media out
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Social media, everybody wants to compare, and they're showing you what's great, and
And
you're
giving you a false sense of
Yeah.
perfection.
yeah. And so I had to really just learn to be present and learn the self-love,
Mhm.
really be able to focus on the things that I'm good at. And if I'm not good at it, try something else.
Right.
And if that's not working, and then I reach out to my friends and I communicate with them, hey, I really did this. What's some feedback that you can give me that I can do differently? Or if it's my sales team or my children, what is it that I can do? or help me here, and maybe you can give me a suggestion,
Right.
or maybe take the time to meditate. Really play back and think about, okay, this is what I wanted my day to look like, but it didn't look like that yesterday. So now I want it to look like this. And so this is where I have to go back and appreciate those little wins. Craig
Yes.
said, show up, just show up that day.
That is a win.
That's a
That's a
win.
W.
Anywhere.
And I
at a
never
job.
even thought of that. And one day with my sales team, I was saying, okay, we're not where we need to be right now. But then I thought, one of my reps told me, she was like, hey, you know what? We achieved the goal that you set for us at 20. And I was like, you know what? You were right.
Yep.
I needed to really be able to pay attention to that.
Trust that process.
Yes.
Understand that process.
Exactly. So I had to really take myself out of that and say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. You guys did. And I appreciate that. And this is what I need to do from now on, and just focus on what they have done well at for that day.
Yep. That's a
And,
W.
Yeah.
And think about the 4 P's: the process, patience, perseverance to get to the promise.
Mhm.
Process, patience, perseverance to get to the promise. You can't get to the promise if you're not patient.
Or have perseverance.
Yeah, you can't persevere if you don't understand it's a process.
And meditation can really help with the patience. Because then with the meditation and your patience, you'll learn to react in a more positive way, because you're going to pay attention more
Mhm.
on, okay, what will the consequences be at this time, or what are the results going to be if I react this way. So you're going to focus more on what you can do right, or you may just not react at all,
Mhm.
but
Sometimes that's
it's all
always best. if it just does not react at all.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, hearing this conversation, sitting back, what are you thinking about? What has helped you today?
Y'all just giving me more understanding of or how I should think and how I should go across things, and just always be positive. No, I don't ever really think negative, because I don't try to feed my mind
Right.
with negative stuff. But everything here that I've talked about has helped a lot.
I mean, I read a lot, and I get a lot of my information from literature and just reading. And one of the most important things I've read in my lifetime is says, maintain a positive attitude and it adds 2.5 years to your life.
right.
I mean, just that simple. And how do you want people to remember you? Do you want people to remember you and know you as that grumpy person with attitude? If you say yes, something's wrong with you.
You're not wrong though.
You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
want, how do you want people to remember you? And then you think about where you are today in your life. Think about the past 3 years. Only person you can blame is wherever you are today. Think about the past 3 years. What have you been doing?
A lot.
Right. So where you are, you're supposed to be.
Mhm.
But if you're not where you think you're supposed to be, you haven't been doing nothing to prepare in that process to get to that point. The 4 P's: the process, patience, perseverance to get to the promise. See, that the end goal is the promise,
Mhm.
but it's a process to get there. Trust it.
Yes.
And work hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hard work pays off, bar none.
No matter what it is.
Yes.
Weaving baskets.
Oh, yeah. Selena, what you think about this podcast today?
I learned, as far as my thoughts on barber schools, and just being able to figure out ways to motivate. I think we all come into that.
Yes.
Just being able to keep ourselves motivated and going to school, work, whatever we're doing, just to make sure that we continue to strive for our goals. I learned that you guys are really motivated, very determined, and I guess perms are really difficult.
Come roll a perm.
They're not
No.
difficult. It's just
But
Tedious.
but going back, remember what you said, right?
Yeah.
You trust the process.
Yeah.
You was patient and you persevered.
Yeah, it took me for 4 hours to roll a perm. Now I'm learning.
And
about
you
an
got
hour
a
and half.
perm after.
Yeah. And
Are you the
understand,
best at perms?
Oh
I do
yes.
a lot.
We'll
I
make
do a
sure
lot
he
of
gets
perms.
another one.
I do a lot of
but
perms.
think about
Tuesday, tomorrow.
how versatile you're gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I think about.
Think,
Then I'll be able to do
Yeah.
everything,
think
but I want to do a little bit more of some color and stuff like that because there's not really a lot of guys around here. I don't think there's a lot of guys around here, but I could be wrong. That want their hair colored. I want to do like the color,
Call her Danny.
Danny's nice. I know.
Danny was supposed to be in the podcast today too as well. Yeah, she couldn't make it. D Nice putting the pressure on you, calling you out. You're supposed to be here today. Then she sent you a message.
Yeah,
She's supposed. D Nice is supposed to be here. Yeah, we have some great students all around in Crown Cuts, JC, and Bristol. We have an awesome crew of instructors and students. And my guy, he's an instructor up there in Bristol doing his thing.
I got one question. I didn't get to ask him
Yes.
last time. The whole finger thing. Is that a thing? Does that do anything, or is that just for looks?
It's just a humming.
Yeah, is that a thing though? Like, does it do anything?
Well, no, it can.
For, like,
It can.
meditation?
Yeah, it can. I think it symbolizes different things for different people. Mine is more placing your hands to heart center to where you're closer to your heart. That's more for me. I think it's different practices for different people
Okay.
and what their spiritual beliefs and how that represents the things that they're
So there's a
doing.
lot more to it than just putting your hands together.
Yes, there's a
Okay.
lot of in-depth things that go with the meditation and just staying focused and being present and your breathing. So
Okay. I had to get off my chest. I've been wondering. I'm
So
like,
we've been on there for an hour now. What do you guys think? You think it's been an hour?
I say yeah. I don't know. I thought it was like an hour and a half.
It's been gliding. I mean, it seems like every time you get on here and the shows just take off on you. But all good things, this woman is so important. She's busy.
she got to answer
Yeah,
questions.
she's busy. So yeah, all good things got to come to an end. I mean, we're gonna end with our lasting words. What can you say to a student who's going through hard times, who's not getting what they want, and just thinking about not being motivated, get to school with an outfit like cutting, or someone who's just missing that
yes,
day?
as you guys are students and we are more the teachers, what is it that we can do to help support you guys, to help make things better for you, to bring you guys every day?
It's a good question.
That is a good question. Man, I don't know.
Bring pals.
No, bring pals. I don't know. It's just that is a hard question to answer, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think it's more. I don't think it's really. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not y'all's job to not, push us to do it, but I mean, I think it's more of the person. But maybe, y'all both do a very good job at making people want to, do better in life. So I mean, I guess just keep motivating people.
Just keep on keeping on.
Just keep on keeping on. I don't know.
Keep the foot on the gas.
Yeah.
Make
Thank
your
you.
first like your last like your first. Make that
Yeah.
your
Yes.
But I can't really say anything though, because I've always, ever since I stepped in there, man, I was like, man, yeah, this is exactly what I want to do. So
That's
after
what's
that, I
up.
was like,
Find your passion. Find your why. Because when you find that passion, find your why, and you're good.
just believe in yourself. Keep
Yep.
doing your thing.
What are your last words, miss?
No, just thank you for having me on
Oh,
here
it's
and
a
just being
pleasure.
a part of this.
Thank
I
you for
really
being here.
enjoyed it.
Tell Asia I'm mad at her because she was supposed to be in here.
I know.
Yeah, she's supposed to be in the booth and the studio. She didn't show up.
again.
I'll tell her. I'll
You know
make
what?
sure she knows.
She can watch it live tonight on Marcus Free Media on Facebook. She can see the whole episode.
Tag her in
Okay.
Yes.
it.
Co-host, what's your lasting words?
Last some words. You're just pushing it back. Every day you miss, you're just pushing it back. You pushing back that time where it's just gonna start making sense.
Pushing back that hairline.
You pushing it.
That's
Please don't do that. Don't do that.
So,
But you just pushing your time back because eventually it's gonna click,
Yep.
and it's gonna click later than you want it to click if you don't get it together right now.
Because barber school is not just to cut hair. Learn how to brand yourself. Learn how to
Mhm.
think about your next move. Learn how to think about the different profession, the different jobs you can have as being a barber. Cultivate yourself. Use your peers as feedback. You might want to start a product. You might want to come up with some type of lotion, some type of hair grease. Come up with it during school and ask your peers for feedback. Ask your peers for feedback as far as the name of your shop. Ask your peers for feedback in anything that you may need to do, because those 9, 10, 11 months, you can get feedback every day or every month to help you secure that, make that the best decision for you. Because you will not be in a position not too often when you have 15, 20, 25, 30, 40 people to give you feedback innocently.
Constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism, and they're your peers, and there's no pressure on you. Teach a class. See if you want to be an instructor.
Yeah, I just say don't get mad when somebody comes and tries to help you out about.
But there's a way, and there's a right way and a
there's
wrong
certain-
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's- I mean, don't be like too rude about it. But if you're trying to help them out. I mean, tell them what's up. Don't lie
Maximize your
to 'em.
time. Maximize
Yeah.
every day, because every day is worthwhile. You can learn something. You can grow something. Maximize your time. Get to know every student. Get to know every instructor, because that could possibly be your employer one day.
Right.
You might be able to. You might probably try to be hiring them. You might need a referral. Get to know everyone real well in that school. Build your network. Build your relationships. Those things go a long way, because one thing that's priceless in this industry is the networking and the relationship that you build.
Hands down.
You can't put a price on that. You cannot put a price on that. And if you miss out on those days, you miss school, a lot of times you miss out on some great opportunities.
And the person that you're going to school with might be the person that you need to get a job from.
Yep. So again, thank you guys. Barber College Success brought to you by Craig Charles and my co-host, M.I. Fields. Crown Cuts Academy JC, Crown Cuts Academy Bristol. Check us out. Hit us up on the web. Hit us up on Facebook. Check out Barber College Success on IG. Like it, subscribe to it. Follow us on YouTube. Check us out on the podcast on Spotify, Apple, Jet, Google, any major podcast platform out there. Thanks for our fans, people around the world. We in 45 countries, over 45 countries. Thank you. Thank you for the people who listen to us. Again, like us, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, all those major platforms. And thank you to my guests, Miss Selena Wise, all the way from Franklin, Tennessee.
Woo.
Yes, sir. And Jay Boogie. You got two brothers, three brothers. He got AJ's little brother in Orlando.